Today we have the Hatsan Flash. Thank you, Hatsan USA, for providing this. The Flash is Hatsan's new entry-level PCP air rifle. Basically, they've taken all of their knowledge and experience on the AT-44 line, and they made something that really stands up to the history and predecessors of Hatsan. The Flash is an entry-level PCP coming in at around $300. We'll be testing ours in 22 caliber and hope to see about 25 foot-pounds of energy, give or take, out of it. The Flash comes with 2 magazines. The magazines have been updated from the time I got this and did this video. It does have a fill port adapter, a single-shot tray. I love that single-shot tray. Makes it great for doing testing, as well as for using some of the larger and heavier pellets. We'll start off at 25 yards with the Crosman Premier Hollow Points and the Predator GTOs. These are both 22 caliber pellets. And you'll see here at 25 yards, we actually got pretty decent results out of both. We saw with 10 shot groups, 0.6 inches center to center with the Crosman Premiers, and a little more than, pardon me, a little less than that, 0.4 inches center to center with the GTOs. We had a little bit of left to right wind on here. This is our first time shooting this rifle, so pretty impressive results to start off with. And as we continue to shoot other styles of pellets, we notice kind of the same. Here we're taking things up a little bit and moving things up to the JSB Exact Jumbo Heavies at 18.13. Those gave us 0.45 inches, so almost a half inch center to center. And then the Predator Polymags in 16 grain gave us 0.8 inch center to center. And here, this group, I do want to say, the wind was picking up a little more, as you can see. And usually with the Polymags, I have to adjust, because on my rifles, I've noticed I tend to pull Polymags to the left a little. Finally, the last 2 pellets we shot were both H&Ns. The H&N Sniper Light at 14 grain gave us a 1.2 inch center to center, whereas the H&M Barracuda Hunter Extremes gave us a 19 grains, gave us a 1 inch center to center group. I was starting to wonder what's going on here, and I think part of this will show when we get to the chronograph strings. I think that we were seeing a little bit of a power drop here on that second mag. So now we take it from 25 yards. Let's bring it out a little bit, and we're going to show you at 50 yards. Once again, we're going back to the Premier Hollow Points by Crosman. These gave us a 2.8 inch center to center group, but you'll see here I also have a 1.5 inch listed, because if we take away that one far left flyer, which could have been the wind or Gus or just the pellet, we still had a 1.5 inch 10 shot group at 50 yards. The GTOs continued to impress. I had 50 yards, I got a 1.3 inch center to center group with those. And I think if the wind had just died down a little, it might have been a little tighter with that left to right spread there. Next, we go back to the JSB Extreme Jumbo Heavies at 18.13. We got a 1.1 inch center to center group. So this was our most solid group at 50 yards if you take away flyers. So this is one of the better ones. But what surprised me was the Polymags. If you take away that one flyer on the top, we had a 1.8 inch group, 10 shot group at 50 yards with the flyer. Without it, that was under a 1 inch center to center group, which shocked me. I usually don't have that much luck with the Polymags. Lastly, we're pulling out the H&Ns as well, and I don't know if it was the wind or whatnot. We just really weren't seeing the greatest results with those H&Ns today. We had a 2 inch 10 shot group at 50 yards with the H&N Sniper Lights. And when we pulled it out to the Barracuda Hunter Extremes, we were seeing that at a 1.5 inch group without the flyer. With the flyer, you'll see we had that last one on the bottom that gave us 1.8 inches, and I think we just were running out of air there. So, what does that tell us? Believe it or not, if we take away the flyer, the Polymags were great at under an inch at 50, and the Jumbo Heavies were at 1.1 inch for a 10 shot group at 50. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. If you take a look, we got 2 solid magazines worth of shots, so that would be 24 shots. Each mag holds, I believe, 12 pellets. And if you take a look at that shot curve, it's not really a curve. It's a cliff. It just slowly goes down. This is your standard, what they call a Korean shot curve, where it's more set up for power. Personally, this is my rifle. What I would do, I would lighten some of the hammer spring adjustment on it. You could do that by taking the stock off and just weaken that a little bit. So you'd be dropping your power, your energy levels, just a tad. But what that would do is that would smooth out that curve, probably give you a few more shots out of it, and definitely a lot more consistency. Still, not too bad. So, a couple things to note. One, standard fill adapter that all the Hatsans use. Two, having that single shot tray is great, especially when you're testing different pellets, as well as if you run into problems like I did. If you take a look at these magazines, thank you, Hatsan, for pushing the envelope a little bit and going with a different mag than you have in the past. 12 shots is nice. However, because it is a little bigger capacity, I couldn't use the low mount scope rings that I normally use on Hatsans. So my magazine just wouldn't fit. Easy enough to fix. Just get the mid or the high mount or high height scope ring mounts and you'll be fine. So overall, great rifle. It's a nice lightweight rifle coming in at 5.9 pounds. Length is 42.5 inches, of which almost 20 inches is going to be your barrel. It is a QE, so it is internally moderated. It has that quattro trigger so that you can adjust it however you want. You'll be able to get a lot more crisp of an action on that trigger pull. And lastly, it's a 165cc air cylinder that's capable of a 200 bar fill. So what does it mean? Well, it means at Hatsan, you've done a kick-ass job. We have a new contender for best entry-level PCP rifle. Accuracy, for what you're paying for, at that sub $300 mark right now, you can find it for, we're going to give it 5 pews, pew, 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 pew for accuracy, 4 pews for shootability. It's an easy rifle to shoulder. I have a short length of pull. I had no problem with it. Quality 4 as well. I have to ding you a little bit here, Hatsan. I love synthetic stocks, and I typically like yours. This one just has a little light feel to it. It's good. It's definitely usable, but I am going to have to ding you on it. On value, you're going to get 5 P's there for value. One thing I do like that Hatsan does is on their website, when they're marketing their air guns, they let you know straight out what you're really going to see with real pellets and with real shooting. They say in 22 you're going to get 24 to 30 accurate good shots. Guess what? That's what we got. We were seeing 24 out of this in 22. So 4 for value. Loudness, you're going to get 4 as well. Actually, you're going to get 5 for value and for loudness, because with that QE system, it brings that volume pretty down and makes it a decently backyard-friendly rifle. And 4 for fun factor. Only issues I had with it, to be honest, it takes a little bit getting used to the change. I do like the short throw bolt on it. I still am a fan of the old lever action on the AT-44. But, this is acceptable. This is more than acceptable. This is a fun little rifle. And that's what we got. Hatsan Flash QE in 22 cal. Probably one of the better small game hunting PCPs on the market. Oh, wait, you still here? Well, I guess I should tell you a little bit about this whole Airgun Market website. The web address is airgun.market, or www.airgun.market. And what we're going to do with this is a little different than what we've done in the past. On this website, we're going to recommend products as opposed to just providing user reviews on them. And we're going to answer some of those questions that we see asked repeatedly by our fans and group members. The market's changed tremendously over the past few years when it comes to air guns. Things are different. What worked back then just isn't going to cut it today. And with the way things are changing, we need to do something a little different to keep up. That's where we have the Airgun.market now. What we're going to do here is provide more recommendations, some more guides than we have in the past. We're not going to focus as much on the news and the reviews, but we're going to tell you what we feel about products out there that may be what you're looking for, or maybe something you want to stay away from. We're not going to be afraid to tell you how we would use the rifle, this air gun, the accessory. Case in point, we have one here that I feel is a great survival or prepper gun. I'm going to say as much, I'm going to list it as much, and try providing some insight as to why I feel that way. Ultimately, like I said, no ads. There'll be affiliate links. If you want to click on it to buy it or just take a look, feel free. If not, that's fine too. We're just going to switch things up a little bit and try providing some more insight and more guidance as opposed to just reviews. Because let's face it, we're at a point where there's a lot of great product out there. Anyhow, look for more from the Airgun Market in the near future.